What we're doing,
Okay.
it's already here. All right, so here we go. Welcome to 56 plus 1. My name is Rich,
I'm Eric.
and we have Caitlin Beattie with us. So thank you for joining us, Caitlin. So this is our next episode of This is America. And for those of you that follow the show, you know we're teaching the history of the United States of America. We started with the Founding Fathers, and we will be moving on to the Constitution. But in between that, we're interviewing people that we feel are a direct contributor to the betterment of the society of America. So we talk about first responders, we talk about American patriots, we've had veterans on here, war heroes, anybody that is a true patriot and believes in the constitutional rights that we have and that want to preserve those rights. This country was born on the blood of people that gave. There's that call.
I gotta step back, guys. Hold on.
So what we have here is a woman who's in it's kind of a male-dominated career.
Yep.
You're a firefighter out of Biddeford, Maine, correct?
Correct.
And you've been doing that for how long?
About a year and 4 months now.
A year and 4 months. So what I like to do is I like to go back and talk about what led you up to that choice to go into a career that you do. Kind of talk about your childhood. Did it run in your family? Did you have people that were firefighters? Did you have a different goal in mind and you just kind of ended up here? It's like, how did it all begin for you?
Yeah, so I grew up, my dad was a firefighter my whole life. I graduated high school, I was going to nursing school. I got accepted into nursing school, a couple different colleges. It was like 2 weeks before I graduated high school, and I was like, I don't want to go to nursing school.
So you were all set up to go to nursing school?
Yeah, I got accepted to University of Southern Maine for nursing. I was going to play sports there.
Yep.
I was like, this is not what I want to do. I was an LNA in high school. I was like, this is not it. I need
Wow.
something different. And my sister and I were at home one night, and my dad went out for a fire. Like, he usually leaves around dinner time.
Yeah.
There's a fire coming in. So he was the chief at the time. He went out for a fire, and I was like, let's go look at it. Like, it was right across from a convenience store. So we parked in the convenience store, and like, we just watched it all happen. I was like, this is sick. I was like, this is it.
Wow.
So I told my dad, I was like, I don't want to go to nursing school. He did some research. He found a college, Southern Maine Community College in South Portland, Maine. He's like, they have a fire science program. I looked it up. I applied to it. And they have a thing called a live-in program.
Okay.
Yeah, you apply to it like a fire department. You go in for an interview. You sit down in front of like a whole panel interview, do the whole process. And if you get accepted into the live-in program, you get to live in a fire station for your whole college career. So I got accepted into South Wyndham Fire Department, which is part of the Wyndham Fire Department.
Okay.
It's like an outskirt.
So at this point, you're, what, 17, 18 years
18,
old?
yeah. I was about to graduate high school.
Wow, this is a huge decision.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
okay, so you got accepted into this?
Yeah. And it was August. I was 18, and I moved up to this firehouse 2 hours away. I moved in with my roommates, and
Yep.
party foul.
That's fine. We'll
Sorry.
drink that. We're gonna drink that
Yeah,
later.
Sorry. Yeah, I moved in 2 hours away, and I started the fire academy in the end of August. So
Yep.
my academy was I did all the schoolwork over the summer in between when I graduated high school, and then when I began college, I started the fire academy. It was all the schoolwork, all the bookwork, all the homework. I did it over the summer, so when I moved in there, I could just go to the fire academy 6 days a week, 7 to 5 every day.
So this is something different. So you were going to go into nursing school. So you were going to get your degree and your nursing license.
Yeah.
And you just kind of totally switched gears at
Yeah.
this point 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
So did your father at any point, did he ever have any influence as far as talking to you about becoming a firefighter? I mean, you said your father was a fire chief, so
Yeah.
he obviously that's been his career, and
Right.
that's what he was ever since you were a kid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Like before I was born, he was a firefighter.
did he ever have any influence? Did he ever say, Caitlin, you should become a firefighter when you grow up?
None.
None.
And then I started the fire academy, and as the end of the first day, I called him. I was like, this is hard. I was like, this is tough. And I went to the second day. It was fine. I called him. And then, like, fast forward the next week, he was like, honestly, if you didn't make it through the first week, because, like, I knew you wouldn't make it. Like, it was that. He was like, I knew you would be fine if you made it through the first week of the fire academy. I was like,
So, what was tough? So the first day, what was tough? Was it being 2 hours from home? Was it the physical work? What was it?
yeah, it was definitely being away from home. Like, the first night, my sister and my dad moved me into the firehouse. As soon as they pulled out of the driveway of the firehouse, I was bawling. I was like, I don't want to be away from home. I've never been this far away from home.
Yeah.
And then, so I had the weekend to, like, settle into the firehouse. And then Monday morning, I started the fire academy.
And how old were you when
I
this
was
happened?
18.
Okay.
And then,
Never
so,
been away from home. It's the first time away from home.
Yeah.
2 hours away.
like, I don't know, there's 30 or 40 people in my class, people I obviously didn't know.
Right. And these people, are they from like the New England area? Are they
Yeah.
from all over the country? Is
Mostly New England.
okay. So 30 people and
Yeah.
18-year-old people
yeah.
or 20?
They're mostly around 18,
okay.
20.
So young,
Yeah.
aspiring firefighters.
Yeah. And so we're all in college for a fire science degree. That's
Yeah.
how you get fire 1 and 2. And there was 5 females, 25 men. I'm like, this is scary. And, like, it was kind of, they wanted to be paramilitary, you know.
Okay.
Like, we would line up every morning. We'd do PT every morning. Like, it was tough. And I was like, I don't know these people. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm away from my family. So, yeah.
So did you, how long did it take you before you were like, okay, and was it a week? Was it, you slip into this routine. So like, I know I went to basic training and it's pure chaos as soon as you get there, you know, and you're like, you don't know which way is up, which way is down. People are yelling at you, people are screaming at you. And you said it's kind of paramilitary. Are they in your face? Are they yelling at you? Are you standing at attention? Are you in formation?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
So we weren't, like, standing at attention. We got split up into, like you guys would call it, platoons. Like, we were in companies.
Okay.
So there's 4 people to a company. You would stand in line next to each other, and they would give you orders, like, per company. So if you all, like, if one person messed up in a drill, you all were doing push-ups. You're all doing, like, PT with like together. So
I'd be the guy that would be making everybody do push-ups and like,
yeah,
put your bag down. I'd pick it up. Like, why is he picking his bag up? He said, put it down. It doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
So that's interesting.
yeah.
So the physical aspect of it. So I know. Let's talk about beforehand. Like, so you're in this male-dominated career, right? And we know that there's certain standards and physical strength, and there's certain requirements you have to make in high school. So for people that don't know, you are my niece.
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, I don't know the whole story. I know
Yeah.
what you do and a little bit about where you came from, but I'm super proud of you for
Thank
one
you.
thing. And I want to thank you for coming on the interview. And
Of course.
Eric, thanks for taking time out of your weekend to be here and do this on a Saturday night. I know it's tough to get schedules to match, but
No, I prefer Saturdays because I got a boring life.
yeah, he's freaking busy all the time. He's always like, "Oh, I'm so tired," and I'm like, "Come on, can you do Saturday?" All right, I can edge some time out for you guys. But so you were a pretty proficient athlete in high school.
Yeah, I was 3-sport athlete all through since kindergarten. I did basketball since kindergarten all through high school. In high school, I did volleyball, basketball, lacrosse. With my freshman year, I did track, which 8th grade and freshman year, I did track.
Okay.
I didn't really like it. I hated running.
Yeah, running sucks.
Running does suck.
I haven't
I
ran
hated
since
it.
like maybe second grade. I think it's
Yeah,
probably the last time I ever ran.
yeah. So,
I mean, I get it, but I don't understand it. It's like we were doing it 3 days a week, 3 miles every run, just for
For Haas.
they called it mandatory fun days, but there was nothing fun about it.
No.
Anyways,
it's not fun.
I hated it.
It's not fun.
I'm like, if I'm running, you better be running because something's bad about to happen.
Now, if they could make it a sport, then yeah, I could be all about it. Something fun, but just running for the sake of running, I
not
don't
fun.
get it.
No. So let's talk about something. When you were on the lacrosse team,
Yeah,
you were kind of a local hero.
yeah. I guess.
Let's talk about it.
All
So
right.
you go to the state championship.
Yeah. So
right. So you're lacrosse 4 years in high school?
4 years, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to play lacrosse. I had no spring sport. I ended basketball season. That was it. I did like travel basketball all through the year. But the lacrosse coach was one of my good friends' mom. She's just like, you should try lacrosse. Like, you're pretty athletic. Anyone can pick it up.
Yeah, yeah.
So freshman year, I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. I was on JV, and then my sophomore year, that I made varsity.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, oh, it's actually a pretty fun sport. Like once you get into it,
because you like probably just smashing people.
Yeah,
you're out there just cross-checking people.
It was fun.
Whipping what is it? Is it an actual? It's a hard ball.
It's a
right?
hard ball.
And
Yeah.
you're just throwing it at people's faces.
Yeah,
What are
it's
you
like
doing?
a rubber ball.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So you're just out there just being a maniac.
Yeah, I played offense, like midfield, whatever, attack. And my junior year, I was on varsity again. We go to the state championship game. So 2 years before, we won state championship.
Okay.
Like they had a record for winning state championship. There was one off year where we didn't win. And my junior year, we went to state championship. We played in Manchester West, and we were playing against Hopkinton. We were the number 4 seed in the division. We played the number 1 seed in the state championship.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, like the school you went to, I know, like considering that some of the schools, like Hopkinton's a small school. Like these are schools in New Hampshire, obviously, but Manchester's a huge school.
Well,
right?
we just played on the field. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it wasn't the actual team there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that like the talent that you're playing against, these are
Yeah.
these are the best of the best. This is
Yeah.
a state championship.
It was crazy.
So you're out there, and
Yeah.
what happened?
It was like it was a halftime, and I think we were tied at halftime. My coach was like, if whoever wins this next goal is winning the game. Like that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we go out, a couple of people score a goal on my team, and it was like we were tied again, whatever. I scored the next goal, and that was it. Like
That was the winning goal.
Yeah. Came out guns blazing.
Bro.
So you had to be pretty psyched, right?
Nice
I was
job.
psyched, yeah. Someone got a good picture of after my goal, made the newspaper,
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. We ended up winning 10-6, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was
So
fun.
that was it. State championship. You
Yeah.
scored the go-ahead goal, and then you guys just kept the lead from there.
Yeah, it was fun.
So Beattie. I'm going to say it. Beattie, yaddy, yaddy, yaddy. Cheers.
It was fun.
Good job.
Wait a minute. That's how you pronounce the name.
That's
Beattie,
what,
yeah.
Beattie.
that's
So
what I
it's-
say. I don't know. I mean, it's like my wife. I'm not even sure how to say her name.
Because Dina asked, she goes, "Is it Caitlin Beattie?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think so. Beattie, Beattie.
Beattie.
It's
Everyone says
something like
Beattie.
that.
Is that how it's pronounced? Beattie.
Beattie, yeah.
Got it.
Everyone
So-
says Beattie.
Beattie.
whatever.
Yeah, it seems like it would just make sense.
Yeah,
you know, but
right?
It is what it is.
So, what is the heritage there? Is it
Scottish.
Scottish.
Beattie, Scottish? I didn't know
Beattie is Scottish.
Beattie.
Yeah.
So do you know how it changed? Or is it it like an American thing?
It has
gonna
to
go
be.
Beattie or
Yeah.
we just did some last names with who was it? They dropped the E off their name when they came to America.
that. Oh, you're talking about the founding fathers.
Yeah, like Thomas Paine. So like you talk about these. So you talk about the United States and being a country of immigrants, and everybody here is an immigrant. I mean, it just depends on what generation your ancestors came over on, and so when we're going through these founding fathers, you see the spellings of the names and like the Smiths and the Paynes, and then some of them have the E, some of them are just Pain, and they
Yeah.
drop the E. So I'm like, you look at Beattie, which I would say Beattie. That's what I thought it was at
Yeah.
first when I first met you guys, and they're like, no, it's Beattie, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to anyone.
But hey, it is what it is.
So, is that Reed's last name? Where's Beattie?
Well, yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
your
yeah.
dad. Never
Yeah.
mind.
Sure.
I got it.
So your dad was the fire chief.
Yep.
He never said anything to you about going to the fire academy, getting your fire science degree, and what everybody thought was you were going to go to nursing school.
Yep.
And 2 weeks before, you went and saw your dad fighting a fire.
Yeah.
Had you ever been out and watched him on a call before?
Not really. Like my sister and I would drive by if we would see him leave.
Yeah.
We'd look up the address and be like, oh, let's go drive by. But this one, like we could see him standing out front, like just doing all whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, that
That was
looks cool.
it.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Wow. So it never came across your mind that was a dangerous job. It's what intrigued you about it? I
I
mean,
mean, definitely, yeah, dangerous, but helping people.
It's hot.
Yeah,
so yeah,
it is.
that's hot. So helping people, that's interesting that you say that because so you've got that caregiver. Like, first of all, for someone to want to become a nurse, right? I don't think people do that because they want it's not a self-fulfilling thing. A person that becomes a nurse or a doctor or a first responder, I always look at those people as givers, right? You wanna do something for somebody else. You want to help somebody else. Anybody in like a service industry or a provider. So I can easily see why you would have your initial goal was to be a nurse, and then you could cross to a firefighter,
Yeah,
or let's say a police officer,
Right.
or an EMT, or whatever the case may be. It just kind of makes sense to me, and it seems like it's always the same kinds of people, you
Yeah.
know, and it's the givers in the world. And ironically enough, the people that we have on our episodes of This Is America are givers. Have we had any takers on here, Eric?
No.
Because first of all, I wouldn't invite a taker into my house.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's two people in the world. There's givers and there's takers, right?
Right. If you want to get down into the simpleton of it all.
As simple as it gets. And to me, it's the givers that make the world go around, and it's the takers that are going to be the fall of the world.
And the givers started like the pizza delivery guys, man. Think about it. They're driving around making
true.
everybody happy. you
Right,
know?
right.
I'm giving you pizza.
I'm giving you pizza. What was your term? You wanted to sling pies or something? Or
No, that was a guy I knew. He was actually his name was Smith. And Smith, if you're ever watching this and happen to catch it, I'd love to catch up with you. But I don't know what happened to him. This guy was he was a sergeant in the Marine Corps, and but he was I don't know how he got away with it. He doesn't know how he got away with it. He I don't know how the guy didn't get busted on the drug test, and he was intentionally trying to get busted on with pot. And Gunny would always send this guy down to medical, and I'm like, dude, why are you jacking this up? I think we were 4 or 5 years in. This guy picked up E5, and I'm like, you were E5 5 years in, 4 years in, whatever it was. And he had it made, and he's like, dude, I just want to get out and I want to go pimp pies. I'm
pimp pies. You want
like,
to pimp
I'm like,
pies?
Pimp
what do you
pies.
mean pimp pies? He's like, he was from Florida and he wanted to deliver pizzas. He's like, you know how much money you can make delivering pizza? I'm like, no, I don't know. But he was like,
I make enough to buy another bag of weed.
right. That's pretty much it.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty much
That's
it.
awesome. So I know we're on an audio podcast, but we're also doing Facebook Live. So there is a comment from Kevin Brown, is another firefighter that we interviewed in
yeah.
another segment of This Is America. So he does say hi to a fellow firefighter.
Thank
so
you. Hi.
that's awesome. And we got another comment from Sean. He's another plus one, and he's talking about the people we've had on 100% givers. So
Oh yeah.
you know, it's not a bad way to be grouped.
Yeah.
You know, as a giver.
Right.
So I know we kind of went off subject a little bit, but so here you are. Let's say you're a week into the program.
Yeah.
And what happens from there? You just kind of settle in. You start meeting these people that you're there with, 30 people that you never met.
Yeah.
And what happens? Do you establish a friendship? How does that work?
Yeah. So my company became good friends, and I became friends with my roommates. So I
Okay.
had 3 other roommates, 2 guys and 1 girl, and you know, we did everything together, like grocery shopping. We were always together. And week 2 of the fire academy, it was like hell week for us,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it was like firefighter survival, all that fun
So
stuff.
you're actually in a barracks?
No, well, I live in a firehouse
Okay.
for my
Does
whole college career.
Everybody's living in a firehouse.
Just the people in my fire department. So there's 4 people living there.
Okay.
We live in, it's like a log cabin. They put us in this, and it was attached to the firehouse. So we ran calls out of there while we were in the fire academy.
Wow.
There's no officers, no command staff. They just send us in this firehouse and like run calls whenever you can. So week 2 is like firefighter survival. It was hard, you know, like getting your getting yourself out of tough situations, like caught in wires, caught in like a collapse, finding your way out of a smoked out building, like following the hose. It was hard, but whatever. Week 3 was more simple.
And how long is the whole program from start to? Is it 8 weeks? Do you remember? Is it 2 months? 3 months?
It was the physical part of it was 3 weeks, and the before part, like the homework, the schoolwork was, I think I did it in a month and a half, 2 months.
Okay.
So it was pretty quick. And then my degree in fire science was 2 years. So I was through the college. I did, fire, like building construction, fire 1 and 2 stuff. I got my associate's degree in fire science. And
Wow. So the whole program from start to finish was 2 years.
yeah.
So you have a degree. So you graduate the school. You get what do you get? Do you get like a license, or how does it work?
I want to
Yeah.
go back before we
Yeah.
graduate, because one of the things you had mentioned to me, what makes you unique, is that there was no changing of the regulation, right? It was the standard is met or it's not met,
Yeah.
Right.
male or female. Is that correct?
Correct.
So, I think out of that, that's something unique in today's terms.
100%.
So, how many female firefighters are there? Is there a lot? Do you know what that number is? And I'm talking either nationally, statewide. Is New Hampshire unique in this regard, or I don't know anything about firefighting. But
No, I have no idea how many females. I know in my fire academy there was 5 females
Out of
out of 30 people.
so, I mean, even let's just say 2%.
So, like when we would have to do our drills, we would have to drag a 175-pound dummy, pick them up, throw them over your shoulder, and run. I think it was 50 yards with the person. Right? Did you have to do that?
So when I got hired full time, you have to pass a candidate physical ability test. And yeah.
So this is before. So, not to cut you
No,
off, but
yeah.
I wanted to paint this picture so I understand it correctly. Anybody can go to the school. Anybody can
yeah.
get the degree. So you're not tested at this point. You don't have to
Right.
pass a physical fitness test. You don't have to
Nope.
perform any examinations. You go to the school.
Yep.
You learn fire science. You get your degree. You learn I guess it would be I call it the tricks of the trade, but you learn the basics.
Yep.
You learn the fundamentals. You learn the textbook fire, rescue, firefighting, and all that. So to get to what Eric's talking about, now you're graduating the school and you're looking for a job.
Yes.
So while you're in the school,
Yep.
is there anything extracurricular? Are you involved in sports? Do they have teams? Is there anything going on?
Yeah. So Southern Maine Community College did have sports teams. I never joined a
Okay.
team. It was like mostly club level. So
Yeah.
they're not like traveling for team like sports or whatever. I never joined. I was like, this is
It's
foreign
enough.
to me. I was like, I'm not joining any team. I don't want to focus on anything else. I just want to.
So you
Get rid of
you
the-
hung up the lacrosse stick and you weren't smashing people anymore. You just
Yeah.
kind of gave that up,
Yeah, I did. I gave up sports for good.
and it's fair because I can understand wanting to concentrate on your studying and like this is your career,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
So this is you're actually getting paid to be a firefighter, right?
Yeah.
Like in Connecticut, I don't know how many. I'm sure there's got to be some paid firefighters, right? Kevin Brown was.
well, I think any department, correct me if I'm wrong, any department that's if it's not a volunteer fire department, they're getting paid.
Yeah. So
Right,
I
I
get.
mean-
Yeah,
when
but
I was-
isn't all of Connecticut volunteer?
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't think. I mean, I would think that any of the big cities they're paid firefighters because they can't rely on maybe I can answer the call or not. You come to a small town like this, and even where you live, I don't think those are right by your house. That's not a volunteer fire station, is it?
I don't know. I always thought they all were in Connecticut.
Yeah,
I don't know. And Kevin Brown, he would be the best to answer that. So in New Hampshire, though, you are paid a salary. This is your career, your job.
Yeah. So I'm full time in Maine.
So
In
she's
Maine.
in Biddeford, Maine now.
Yeah.
but-
Okay.
So her dad was the chief in
Yeah.
New Hampshire, and
Yeah.
I mean that was his full time career.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys were all in New Hampshire.
So you graduate.
Yeah.
So 2 years. So
2
you're
years.
2 years at
I lived-
university. You get your degree. Now Caitlin Beattie is certified. She's got her degree. Now she's looking
Yeah.
for a job.
Yeah. So,
So-
I moved back to New Hampshire. I was living in Maine for college. I moved back to New Hampshire. They, like nationwide, they have the CPAT, which is the Candidate Physical Ability Test. I work part time for, I think it was 2 years after
Okay.
college. I could not pass this test. Like it was a hard test, and I think it was more like a mental block. Like I'm not ready. I can't do this. Like I work part time at a firehouse. I was like I can't do this.
So
Can't
you
do
could-
what?
The test.
So what is the test?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't that your whole goal? Is to be a
Yes.
firefighter? What do you
Yeah.
mean you're already setting yourself up for failure? This is something I
Exactly.
tell my kids. This is something I tell everybody. If you tell yourself you can't do something, you will be 100% a
Oh, yeah.
success at not doing
Look
it.
Yep.
at she manifested
I know.
her boyfriend.
Yeah.
So we do have Caitlin's boyfriend is here. He is. This is another giver,
He's Captain Kangaroo.
Captain King.
That's what
I mean, he doesn't want to go on camera. I mean, you should see the guy. He's not.
Captain Kangaroo was a Marine. You know that, right?
Mr. Rogers was a Marine sniper, which is a lie.
So well, Captain Kangaroo.
He really was though.
Yeah.
So,
So that's what we'll refer to him as. Codename Kangaroo.
Kangaroo's in the house. He's off camera. I'm not going to say he's handsome because I don't want to be. I mean, I know it is Pride Month, but he's also he's a first responder. He's a
Yeah.
police officer. He's actually in the Marine Corps now. So yeah, it is interesting to see how givers kind of get together.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you connect.
You connect. So let's talk about this physical. Is it a physical
Yeah.
requirement? Is it a mental test? Is it like a written
It's a
test? What is
physical.
it?
It's a physical test.
Okay.
It's like 8 different skills, and it's a time test, and you have to pass all the skills within the time limit, and you get it's just a card saying you pass this test, and you
Okay.
can apply anywhere.
But you
throughout
have
the
to have
states.
that card to be able to get a job anywhere.
Yeah.
And you took this test how many times?
I took it twice,
Okay.
and I failed both times, and I was like, whatever. I was like, I'm not going to pass this test. I just kind of gave up on it, and then a job posting came up for Biddeford, Maine.
Yeah.
So they do the same test. You don't get like the national card for it.
Okay.
It's still the CPAT test. It's the same test. You just don't you can't apply to anywhere else if you pass this test. It's a main thing only, I guess.
so they don't care if you have the federal card, but they give you the same. As long as you can pass the same test,
Yeah.
they don't care if you have the card.
Yeah. You still have to pass this test to
So
get hired.
talk to me about what is the test? What is it? Is it it's running, pull-ups, sit-ups, swimming? What you got to do 15 backflips? You got to do a one-handed cartwheel? What do you do?
So it starts with like a hose carry. You have to drag 50 feet of hose through like a barrel. You have to like drag it around, and you get on your knees and like pull it.
What does a hose weigh? Do you know?
It was a 2-inch hose, so I don't know how much it weighs.
Man,
You have to like carry the nozzle and the hose on your shoulder throughout the obstacle, and then you pull it
Okay.
for however many feet, 50 feet, and then you go. There's a tool carry. You have to like carry 2 saws back and forth. You have to raise the ladder, lower a ladder, climb the ladder, go down the ladder. Pretend there's like a prop where you have a pike pole, and you have to like push the roof up and pull the roof down.
Okay.
Pretend you're ventilating a building. You have to carry a dummy back and forth.
How much does a dummy weigh?
That one was 150 pounds.
Damn, son. I don't think I could do that.
But
think.
and that's
Don't
like
mark my
dragging
words.
a bag of concrete. It's not. I know they say it's supposed to emulate a human body, but if you have to
Yeah.
drag that, it's just like dragging bags of sand.
Right,
Yeah.
it's dead weight. It's
Right.
it's nothing. You're not
Yeah.
getting
But a
any
human
help.
body has rigidness on the upper torso. You can get a hold of something. Up
Unless
there.
you're spineless like a jellyfish.
Yeah, and you have to do. You have to put a high-rise pack on your shoulder, which is a bundle of 2-inch hose, like 100 feet of 2-inch hose on your shoulder, and do the stairs. We did 3 flights of stairs up and down.
Wow.
Like put that down, and then you go into the next drill, and then like a Kaiser sled. You have to it's like a sledgehammer, and you like beat the thing until you get to the end. It's like a block. You have to slide back and forth.
So
it
I
was
mean,
long.
it's the all physical
Yeah.
strength testing is what it is.
Yeah.
So my understanding is you didn't get a pass because you were a female, did you?
No. No.
You had to do the same exact thing that the guys had to do,
Yeah, the same exact test.
right?
Yep.
So let's talk about modern day America. I have a lot of respect for the firefighting community because they're not willing to lower their standards for anybody.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's a particular job that needs to be done, and you can either do the job or you can't do the job. It doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what sex you are, it doesn't matter what color your hair is.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're a guy and you can't lift a peanut. It doesn't matter if you're a girl and you can bench press 500 pounds. The standards are the standards, and if you don't meet the standards, you don't get the job.
Yep.
So you didn't meet the standards the first time.
Yep.
You didn't get the job.
I didn't get the job.
So what did you do? So you take the test,
Yep.
and you're like, okay, how long before you can retake it? Is there a waiting period?
In New Hampshire, like if you take the actual CPAT test, it's I think you need to retake it the next day.
Okay.
Like you can take it pretty quick.
Yep.
In Maine, I took the test and I passed the test. I went over the time limit though. So
Okay, so you did all the exercises.
Yeah.
You didn't meet the time
yeah,
requirement.
I was 13 seconds over the time limit.
Oh man.
And
So you're so close.
yeah, so I passed the interview portion, like the oral interview.
Yeah.
I passed everything, and the assistant chief actually pulled me aside and he was like, "Come back, you're gonna pass this. Like, you're gonna pass this next time." And I like had some of the firefighters that were working at the time, and one of the other chiefs like yelling at me through this test, like, "Fuck,
You're
like,
gonna
sorry,
do it.
Like,
Oh,
do
you're
it,
good.
yeah. Like, get."
Oh, he's motivating you, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah, he's
wanna
not
do it,
yelling.
'cause
I
they-
just
Yeah.
want to make sure that the
Yeah,
audience
no.
understands when they're saying yelling, they're usually trying to motivate.
It was
and pump you up.
motivation, like get
Right.
past that finish line and do it. So
So they're pulling for you.
Yeah.
Essentially, is what's going
Yeah.
on here.
So they like you.
They want to
Yeah.
see you. Well, they want to see you make it, right?
course.
And so, yeah, whatever.
yeah, it was like a mind block in my head, and they knew that, so they pulled for me. And
So you took the test, and then what was it? The next day you tried it again, or how long before?
it was
you,
a couple weeks.
A couple weeks.
So I got hired, even though I went over the time limit. They hired me, and
because
I
they
was
knew you were going to do it.
yeah. So I was under a conditional offer.
Okay.
Like, so I had to go through an 8-week rookie school. I had 3 other rookies with me, and we did PT every morning, and then we went into our classes. And I think like week 6 or 7, we had to retake the test. So that was when, and PT every morning. People were like pushing for me. I dropped my time down by 4 minutes, and I
Wow.
passed it in 6 minutes.
And that's 4 minutes under the requirement.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Good for you.
yeah.
So I'd be willing to bet you that there's firefighters that are full time right now that cannot pass that test today.
Yeah.
And I'm not a firefighter, but I'm pretty sure that I couldn't do it.
Yeah, which is it's
So if you had to do it, do you think you could pass it again today?
probably. I mean, I knock on wood. I don't know.
I
but
think you could.
I
100%.
yeah, I hope so. They offer it to everyone every year if you want to take it again, but
Yeah.
like the military, it's not a requirement that you take it every year. You have to take it once in the beginning of your career, and that's it. Like, you don't have to take
Okay.
it again. So
Which is fair. I mean, I guess. Well, I don't know.
I got to
mean,
question that one myself.
Yeah, I
right?
do too. Because at the end of the day, you're
We've
still
got PFTs.
right.
yeah,
Right. The military does have PFTs for that reason, to make sure that you are still physically fit for the task at hand.
Yeah.
Right. So
You're still doing the same job.
it's one thing. It's one thing to get past the first hurdle, but I don't know. The firefighting is different in that I don't think you have a line of people like you do in the military will sign up and go and do the task. So, I do applaud the services of the fire department because of that, right? It takes a unique mind.
Right.
And that's never really fascinated me in any sense, but thank God you have them at the end of the day, right?
Right.
It takes the world, all
Yeah.
kinds to make the world go round, so to speak, but so I could see both sides of that argument or contention or question, if you will. And it should be something. Like, do you have to go to any PFT again?
nope.
So you can
It-
just sit
yeah.
in a firehouse and eat donuts if you wanted to, and
Yeah.
say, "I passed it."
Yep. Unless I leave to go to another firehouse, I don't have to take the
Oh,
test again.
oh! So if you
Yeah.
go to another fire department, then they have a set of requirements that
Yeah.
you have to qualify
Yeah.
for. Got it.
Is that because you didn't do the federal
Yeah.
test?
Yeah. So if I
But
had
if
my
you had the
CPAT,
card-
yeah.
Okay,
I-
so if the federal side, then no matter what, you're passing. You never get
Yeah.
tested again.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So do you ever think you're going to take the federal?
Maybe if I think about
Test.
leaving.
Do it.
Yeah,
I would
know.
I would do it. Just
I
get
would
the
do
card.
It. I would do it.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean,
it
you
is
do it.
helpful.
You're only going to
Just
be
do it.
eating donuts from here on
I
out. So
know,
like
yeah.
now's the time.
Might
I
as
would,
well
I
do
would
it now.
write Nike and say, "Make me a pair of firefighting boots," and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Seriously, yeah, just be the promoter of that. Just do something to motivate it,
Yeah.
right? And just set that precedent,
Yeah.
that example. Especially in today's environment, we see on the media, women are underpaid, or women this, or women that, men this, men from chauvinistic to sexist to everything else. I personally think that'd be a fantastic opportunity for you
Yeah.
to exploit, right, and
Well,
take to the next level.
100%. And we talk about the male-dominated career, and maybe it is because of the physical portion of it. Maybe it's just that.
Right now, think about this, dude. She's got Nike, just do it. Bud Light, fuck it.
And then whoever else does
Yeah.
it,
Right, like jump on
whatever.
board. Coors Light. What do you waiting
Coors
for?
Light, yeah. We can get Dylan Mulvaney on a beer can, but we can't get Caitlin Beattie on one. She's on a beer can.
Bullshit.
We're gonna go for Miller Lite.
Yeah.
We're posted for Miller Lite. So if you need another one, I got one rolling for you right
I
here.
think I do.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You know what I love about you is we're just pounding beers. We're just talking
She
shit.
is pounding them.
I'm nervous.
She is in my family. Yeah, it's kind
Gotta
of
keep the name alive.
it's one of those things. It's a thing.
It's a thing. You wouldn't understand.
Are you
So-
nervous right now?
No,
Not
really
even at all.
anymore.
Like,
I
why
just
would
don't know
you
what
be
you're gonna
nervous?
ask next, and then
So we figured
Oh.
out that we're going to install urinals under each seat next week. But
Yeah.
what are we going to do about
I'll get a
Beattie, the
Shiwi.
Beattie
Shiwi,
test?
yeah.
A Shiwi?
So all we have to do is we got to get a little hoop and strap it to her
shiwi.
foot, so wherever she swings her
shiwi.
leg, it goes. Yeah, shiwis are. I mean, I've actually seen one. They're like amazing. They're like it's like a banana shaped funnel.
it is like.
Have you seen it?
No.
It's a shiwi.
Have you used one?
Never even heard of it until they.
But I would like
It's
one.
almost I didn't know. I didn't know she was
I
that.
used
Oh,
one,
you-
but I want one.
Yeah.
She wants
My
one.
wife wants one.
She wants
Yeah.
one.
It's amazing because I mean we don't have bathrooms here. We gotta use a shiwi out in the
Gotta
backyard.
go outside.
So this is America.
I think-
I kind of like this.
I think
This
you
is
can just
fun.
actually put just a hole in the seat and a chamois down below.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
it's like how much do these chamois really hold?
Sham wow.
That's what I'm talking about.
The
ShamWow.
ShamWow,
The
yeah.
ShamWow can hold 3 beers.
Yeah, easily. So Caitlin,
Yes.
so here you are.
Here I am.
You're on probation. So you're getting paid. You're a full hire, but you're on probation.
Yep.
You passed the physical exam. You're in the Biddeford Fire Department.
Yep.
How many other females do you work with? Do you know?
Do you know?
Well, I
Are
don't
you
know. I mean,
serious?
is it a big department?
What,
I don't
you want to
know.
make a bet on how many other females she works with?
Yeah,
Let's take a
guess.
bet. 1 to 2?
I was gonna say maybe one other.
When I first got hired, there was. Wait, hang on.
Oh, see,
She's actually got a count on her fingers.
There's 4 other females
4 other
when
females
I
in
got
your
hired.
department.
Now there's one more after I got hired.
Okay, so 5. So do you know how many people total work in the Biddeford Fire Department or no?
So it's different now than
Should
when
just
I got
be an
hired.
estimate.
It was around 40. Our maximum is 48. So when I got hired, there was
10%.
43, 45 people.
Wow.
So yeah,
10% of the workforce.
yeah.
Wow. Could you do me a favor? Could you look up how many what are the percentage of firefighters in America are female? I'd just be curious. It's probably the
It's
same.
low. Yeah.
Probably 3 or 4%.
Yeah.
I would assume. You know, it's
Well,
not.
they're already at 10. If there's 40 people and there's 4 women there, then
Well, that right.
Yeah.
That's
In this
10%.
particular firehouse, so
Right now we're staffed at 48 people with 6 female.
6 females.
46 of 4 point. Well,
As
And,
of 2022, approximately 4.43% of firefighters in the United States are women.
4.43% of firefighters in the
So
United
they're
States
above
are women.
average.
To about 90,000 female firefighters.
Wow,
90,000.
that's crazy. It's more than I thought.
Listen, there's 300 and well, I don't know how many illegals there are, but there's like 360 million people in the United States, and you're one of 90,000 that's a firefighter.
Yep.
Kudos to you.
Thank you.
You should have your picture on the front page for more than just lacrosse. I'm actually going to take that picture. I'm going to say, hey, here's my girl right here.
Yeah. I don't know.
So that's awesome. So
1.1 million total firefighters.
1.1 million total
Holy-
firefighters in the
my
United
God.
States, and 90,000 are women. For would you say 4.3%?
that
That's
doesn't add.
volunteer firefighters.
The math ain't
And
adding there.
volunteer.
that doesn't include volunteers.
That's including.
Oh, that's
volunteer
including.
firefighters.
Yeah.
Because 900,000 and how many thousand? 900,000. 90 would be 10%.
90,000.
And they said there's 1 point what?
1.1 million.
1.1
It
million
doesn't.
total.
Yeah, the math ain't adding.
90,000 are female.
That's what-
Wait a
that's
minute
what I
here.
heard.
Wait, I want to make sure we're not getting checked here. Are they declaring to be female?
Well, you never know.
You don't
never
know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the numbers are the numbers.
There's
Whatever.
numbers. Doesn't make sense. I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, you are in a career that there's not a lot of females that do what you do. So-
I agree with
yeah.
and
sure.
you weren't given a free pass. You didn't have to do push-ups on your knees. You didn't get to do 3 pull-ups, and everybody else had to do 10.
Yeah.
You did what you had to
same
do.
test.
So
Can we talk about that for
Yeah.
a second? Because that is something I always found to be an unfair or disadvantage to those that are doing it. We talk about equality, and to me, equality means equal is equal, right? And you just mentioned push-ups on your knees. The WMs, Women Marines, when you do a push-up, it's actually a push-up and a half. The WMs do not have to do the same push-up. They do it from their knees.
Yep.
which is crazy.
Right. So a standard is a standard, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, so that puts you in your own classification. You weren't given any kind of different credence or leeway or adjusted
An
time.
advantage.
An advantage. And that's something I got to be honest. It's something that's always bothered me. Again, equal is equal, and for calling a spade, then
Sure.
that's the way it needs to be. So from your perspective, I do think that is something to be proud of, right?
Thank you.
100%.
I do think your point we made there was it was just interesting that you brought it up. So was the Air Force that way?
The females had less stringent standards. Yes. Yeah.
And the same with pull-ups. Like the
Right.
WMs did not have to do pull-ups. It was a hang. You had to hang from the bar for 15
Yeah.
seconds. Did you have to do pull-ups in the?
No.
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 But you had to.
Change that, they have to do pull-ups now.
They do. You know, is the number the same?
No.
Oh, it's not. So there you go. There. Okay, so the number's not even the same.
Right.
So then equal isn't equal.
So let me ask.
If you got a
let me
banana,
ask
you
the
got to do
captain.
more
If you, yeah, if you got a shiwi, you're good. If you're, yeah. So I'm going to ask Captain Kangaroo off of camera. So, in the police department, physical fitness requirement to be hired?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. He says. Is the standard the same across the board for everybody?
I got to be honest. No doubt. No.
He says
it
no.
shouldn't be captain. He's still a sergeant.
Sergeant Kangaroo.
He could be a captain. Not yet.
So next time we're gonna get Captain on.
right,
We're gonna get him on camera, and we're gonna do an interview with him because it's quite. He's got a good story as well.
He's cool.
He's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool.
So hey, listen, we got a voice-over thing where we could make it look like he's talking like this.
Oh yeah, we can disguise it. I forget. I don't know which kid it is.
Blur the camera. Like,
Yeah. So all right. So now here you are.
Here I am.
You're off probation.
Yes.
So you're a full-time firefighter in Biddeford, Maine.
Yep.
And what does a day for Caitlin look like? You get up in the morning.
I get up in the morning. So shift starts at 8 a.m.
Okay.
I get there 7:30, 7:20. You know, if there's like the off-coming shift, they have a late call, we'll jump that call so they don't have to
Okay.
stay past 8. Everyone gets off at 8. Start our shift at 8 a.m. We line up for muster, if you will. Like,
So is this like a roll call?
yeah, it's a roll
muster?
call.
Okay.
Like, we have to have a certain amount of people on shift
Right.
each day. We line up with the off-coming shift. If they have any news to tell us, they tell us, and then
Yeah.
we go about our day. We do truck checks. We do, like, we cook meals together. Like, on the weekends, we do breakfast together. Weekdays, we do lunch. We just go about our day, do truck checks, do chores, run calls.
So you guys are, I mean, when you're on duty, you're living at the firehouse. It's
Yeah.
not like it's not a 9 to 5 where you come
Yeah.
in and you go home. You're on a 24-hour
A 24-hour
shift,
shift.
right?
So I'm from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. the next morning.
Okay, so you're at any point a call comes in, it doesn't matter what you guys are doing, you drop what you're doing and you
Yep.
guys respond to a
Yep.
call.
Anytime.
And when you're not on an active call, and we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, just our conversation when we were up in Ellington, Connecticut at Sonny's place.
Hey, you don't got to give out the details, dude.
Hey, whatever. We're just drinking beers, hanging out.
Yeah, but you were in the bushes.
Well, I mean, the bathroom line was full.
I was watching. I had nothing to do with it. I was just watching whatever was going.
So we were up there and we were talking about what's going on. And
Yep.
I asked you about being on call, and you said you have to be up by
Yeah.
6:45 in the morning, no matter
Yeah.
what. I'm like, well, what if you just were on a call for 8 hours and you went to bed at 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
You still have to be up at 6:45.
Yep. So that's our last chance to get out of bed. Usually we have 2 lieutenants on a shift and a captain.
Okay.
So by 6:40, 6:45, they're coming over the loudspeaker, playing music to wake people up. Like, you know, you don't get to bed till 4:30 in the morning if you have a busy night.
Right.
You still have to be up by 6:45. You still have to do your truck checks in the morning. Make sure it's presentable for the oncoming shift. Like, make sure you have supplies stocked. You know,
Right.
kitchen's clean, downstairs is clean. You have to be ready for the
So
next shift.
you're basically turning over your house to somebody else
Yeah.
because now it's their house for
Yeah.
their shift. Right?
Yeah, because you know when you come on shift and you hop on an ambulance for the off-coming shift, and supplies aren't stocked, and you don't have stuff to do something
Right.
on a medical call, like on the ambulance especially. That's kind of shitty.
So every
Yeah.
24 hours, you're rotating.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So you're setting them up for the next shift, basically, because
Mm-hmm.
you never know. You could walk in and that call could go off, and if someone didn't
Yeah.
restock the supplies,
You're screwed.
you don't have time
Yeah,
to do it, right?
yeah.
So, in essence, even though you guys aren't working on the same shift, you guys are you're the
You're a team.
Biddeford Fire Department.
Yeah.
You're the team. You're
Yeah.
turning over,
Yep.
making sure that your buddy's not
24/7, 365. This
Yep.
is what you're on.
'Cause it
You're-
never ends.
Right. That's your
Never
life.
ends.
So, on average, what would you say your call? Do you get 20 calls a day when you're on shift?
Yeah.
1 call a day. Is it busy?
We do, especially in the summer. We've been averaging 20 to 25 calls a day.
Wow.
Like during the winter, it's kind of slower because we have like beaches, we have downtown. Tourists come, they go
Okay.
through us to go to Old Orchard, which is busy.
Yeah.
In the summer, we do 25 calls a day. I think my busiest was 30 calls a day.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, in 24 hours. And it comes in sections. Like our morning's busy, then we have early afternoon, and then the night is just. We have a bunch of bars. We have a college in our city.
Okay.
So all the college kids are going out. Like it
Yeah.
gets busy.
People are getting crazy.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden the 911 calls are going up
Yeah.
and you guys are there.
Yeah.
Going back to what Kevin said, is the fire department has been kind of transitioned into a all-in-one EMT type of environment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, or job. That's the same up there.
Yep. So
Okay, so I didn't know if that
yeah.
was unique to Connecticut specifically, or
Definitely more in Maine. We staff 2 ambulances each shift, and then we staff our attack engine, our first due engine is staffed with 3. Each ambulance is staffed with 2, and then if we're lucky, like my shift has 11 people on shift, so we get to staff the engine, the tower, and then 2 ambulances. So we have a lot of people, which is nice. But
And you guys rotate positions, or so is it always the same people in the ambulances, or is it always the same people on the fire
so
truck? Or-
yeah, that's kind of a debate. Like
Okay.
we eat like I know Portland, Maine, they do a bid system, so you bid for a spot and you're there for a year. Here in Biddeford, we do like we pick each spot each morning. So that's our
Okay.
part of our muster. We pick where we're riding for the 24-hour
Gotcha.
shift. Yeah.
So
What
I
do
guess
you pick? How do you pick if there's only so many people and so many spots?
Yeah.
So if you're low on a totem pole,
Yep.
you get last pick.
Yep.
How often you been running around with the toilet brush?
Yeah, a lot. So like
She goes, "A lot."
A lot.
I got it.
Yeah.
and you don't have to answer some of these questions,
Yeah, no.
honestly. Like, but I mean,
No, you do have to.
The-
That's
So
listen.
it goes by seniority. You pick by seniority.
okay.
Right, we want to understand. So
Sure.
the hard questions are the hard
Yeah,
questions.
she still needs to get him. She still needs to stay employed. So it's just like, you know what? That jerk on first shift always takes the freaking office chair, and she's like, I'm running around on the shit wagon.
No, everyone's pretty good on my shift. You know, we go by seniority. There's one guy on my shift that always drives the engine. That's his spot. He has the most seniority over all the officers.
Fair.
The captain always gets the officer spot in the engine, and then 2 lieutenants rotate between the officer on the ladder.
See, I
truck.
don't think that's fair. Because how are they going to learn? You got to
That's not
switch.
my job.
That is a good
Listen,
point.
and this is something I've always said about the military.
That's a good point, Eric.
You can put me. I don't care if I was employed by somebody. I didn't care if I was scrubbing toilets or I was let's say fixing airplanes.
Right.
You were paying me.
Yeah.
I scrubbed toilets with my bare hands in the military. I didn't care. You were paying me. So that never left my mind, even to this day. And we're friends, and
Yeah,
that's just my
100%.
mentality. It doesn't matter. Like, there's a whole fillet, and somebody's going to do the job. So I do think that how do you give someone experience? And I don't care whether it's a fire department or you're
Anything.
doing anything.
Construction.
You got to
police
have
department.
time in the seat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So does that happen? Or,
that
where they kind of take you under their wing and show you what they do day to day, or
yeah.
not really?
Like once you first get on shift, you ride as a third. So like you're shadowing someone.
Okay.
For however many weeks.
Yeah.
4 weeks, whatever.
At the same time, I also agree. Look, if you're the noob, you're going to take the brunt of the
Right.
BS.
You're gonna
Yeah.
pay your dues as well.
Good, right. Go find the aircraft, the keys to aircraft 72, whatever.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
It's just part of the game,
Yeah.
right? Everybody's got to pay their dues.
Yeah. So like you ride as a third, you learn the shift, you learn how to work a 24-hour shift. Like, it's kind of different, like between people, I guess.
Yeah, you
like
got
whatever haze. Like we're not
there's
supposed
personalities
to haze,
and
yeah.
there's certain
You learn the people. You learn what to do. Like everyone does chores. Everyone
Yeah.
cleans up after dinner. Everyone does the dishes. Not everyone cooks, but like you help people cook. And
Yeah.
You learn what spot you're riding, and then each shift you rotate, usually through what spot you're riding on. So I'm usually on my new shift. I'm typically on the engine, which is nice. Like I ride in the backseat of the engine. I'm cooking meals, and I'm not on the ambulance, which the newest person is usually on the ambulance because that's the last spot to pick. I don't have the last spot to pick anymore.
Okay.
The newest person has the last
They're
pick.
the new noob.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
they're
So
holding
they're up
holding the
early.
toilet
All
brush.
right. All right. So I can see both sides of
Yeah.
that argument as well. But you said it's interesting you bring up cooking, right? Do you guys have like something where, all right, we got to bring a new recipe in? Does somebody have something like that? Say, all right,
Yeah.
let's change out the menu. Let's pick some, I don't know, cilantro and this.
Oh,
pick
she hates cilantro.
Five ingredients,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
got to make it so everybody likes it.
That's so funny you said
But
cilantro.
it's a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Dina
It is
hates
a challenge.
cilantro. Too. She thinks it tastes like soap. I don't get that.
I just
but
Bro.
it tastes trash. I hate it.
I love it.
Oh,
I do. I
Oh.
love cilantro.
I don't even know how to spell it, and I don't even have a clue what it looks like.
I
or
don't
what
need to know
tastes
how to
like.
spell it. I just like it.
You're like,
See.
disgusting.
see.
You like it? See.
Yeah. So cooking's definitely the biggest challenge on my shift. No one wants to cook. Nobody. And whoever it's been going on for however many years before I was there. Whoever is riding backwards on the engine, so they're in the back seat, they have the last pick of the day. They're riding backwards on the engine. They cook both meals. So we do lunch and dinner together. And the person, we call it the stillman.
Okay.
They cook both lunch and dinner. Now that we have enough staffing, they split the meal. So if you're on the engine, you cook lunch. If you're on the truck, you cook dinner.
Okay, there's a way to change this. I had this conversation with John's mom down at the marina. Perception is everything. Nobody likes to cook, right?
Oh.
But everybody likes to win.
Yep.
So make a competition out of it. Say, all right,
Yeah.
listen, now we're going to all vote on what the best meal was. And you don't have to share the recipe until the person wins.
Yeah.
If somebody likes it, then you're going to share the recipe. If somebody doesn't like it, you're going to know it sucks. And if he likes it, then you know
Yeah, you're not even in the
recipe.
competition.
But
Don't
my-
ever cook again.
Right. My point is it entices people to want to do better, and whatever it is, right? I don't know. You're up in Maine, so
Yep.
you find a specialty for moose. Moose, and I'm not talking moose knuckle. I'm talking actual straight up moose flank steak, but but you know, whatever. I'm just saying, make it fun.
Do
Yeah.
they have moose knuckle in Maine?
I've never heard of it.
I'm sure. I've been to Old Orchard Beach and I have seen
they
a
have
lot of
mo-
moose
they
knuckle
have
in Maine.
moose
Yeah, they have it.
in
I don't know
Maine.
if you want to cook
I've never been to Maine, but I can tell you they got to have moose knuckle
It's
up
there. It's definitely there.
It's a fatty tissue kind of moose knuckle.
This is so awesome. See, are you still nervous?
No.
No, this is like so
No.
funny. So, all right. So there's kind of like an unwritten etiquette per se,
Yeah,
like
yep.
to the firehouse. Right?
Yeah.
So people have you kind of. All right, you're the new guy. You're the new girl. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're cooking meals. We talked about different jobs. So, does everybody know how to do each position in the
Yep.
fire station at
Yeah.
all times?
At all times.
I was gonna say you
So-
have to, right?
Yeah.
That was part of my concern when she was bringing up the whole rotation and
Yeah,
seniority.
yeah.
And I think that, albeit there's a place, obviously, if the people have seniority there, they have. Look, you got to give
Right.
respect at the same
Absolutely.
time, but a balance. And
It's
I don't know
important.
what it's like in Biddeford, Maine.
Yeah.
but
It's great. You need to adjust that because
No, sorry. I was just
Yeah.
fidgeting.
No, it's fine. You get nervous now?
Yeah.
Oh.
He just looked at me, so.
Oh, he's got that. He's got that smile. It just kind of makes your heart flutter a little
something
bit.
tells me he knows how to cook moose knuckle.
Captain Kangaroo. Been cooking moose knuckles since he was 10, dude.
Did you grow up in Maine?
He's
No.
from New York.
Oh,
Really?
jeez.
The hell send you out there? He's on the. That's why he doesn't want to be on camera. He's on the criminal watch list.
Yeah, I think he's in the mafia.
Probably.
What do you mean? You think I'm funny, like cute? Funny?
Yeah, like a clown. Funny like a clown. Do I amuse you?
No idea what you're talking about.
No. Well,
Me?
that's-
No.
Yeah, we do.
He does, though.
Yeah, he does.
I'm clueless all the time.
No, that's perfect. That's the best way to be because life is easy that way.
It is.
Awesome. So listen, you're in the firehouse, you do all these calls, you want to switch shifts. You told me you just went to a
Yeah.
new shift. So do you have to bid on positions? How does that work?
So every year we bid for a new shift if we want to change.
Yeah.
The chiefs like hand out this form. And so we have 4 shifts, A, B, C, D.
Okay.
And you fill out which shift you want to go to. Like that's your number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4.
It's like it's a wish list.
Yeah,
basically.
it is a wish list. And
Yeah.
they
But you
take
mean
that-
like day shift, night shift,
No,
mid shift?
so we all work the same 24-hour, 8 a.m. to 8
Right,
a.m.
that's where I was confused. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what are you talking about? Shift.
So shift
It's just the
companies-
personnel, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh, working with the people
yeah,
is what you're
so
talking about.
I'm on D shift right now. I work with the same 11 people every shift I go into. I'm with the same people.
Yeah.
So we're D shift, if you will.
So
And
It's nice to get to know everybody.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
it's nice. I mean, you learn from different people. So last year they do the shift change around New Year's. You change shifts
okay.
depending. Like we have different tiers on when you got hired and your seniority, what like provider level you're on. Like I'm an advanced EMT. There can only be like a certain amount of advanced EMTs on a shift. Paramedics, EMTs. Whatever.
Right. So they have to have every position filled.
Yeah.
So you can't load one shift up with all
Yeah,
EMTs
right.
and
Exactly.
yeah, that
So,
makes sense.
I put in to change shifts and I got my wish and I changed shifts.
Nice.
Everything works out and I'm
Yeah.
on a new shift. So
So
that
when
changes
you-
every year.
Every year. So do people the shifts typically stay the same though? Like you can put in for it every year, but does it actually change every year?
No, if you put in for a shift, you probably won't get it. Like
Oh, really?
it depends
So
on
what determines that?
the tier level you're on, and
Okay.
like right now they're changing shifts in the middle of the year because a new lieutenant got promoted, so he's going to a different shift, and he's taking someone from his shift and putting it on the shift he came from.
Gotcha.
So it depends, like,
Now they have to shuffle
yeah,
everything
you have to like
to make it
add
work.
up to how many lieutenants and private, like
Right.
the firefighters are called privates. So however, like your license level and all that fun stuff.
Nice.
Yeah,
So they actually have a rank and order structure.
Yeah,
All right. What is
yeah.
your rank?
private AMT.
Do you?
Like I'm on tier 10, which I think it goes down to tier 12 now because they hired people below me.
Okay.
I don't know the tiers.
Oh, so the higher, all right, the higher the number, the lower the number, the higher the tier.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's like golf. The less score you get, the better you are.
yeah.
Which doesn't make sense
I
to
would,
me.
I would
mean,
never get a shift change if we were playing golf.
I mean,
And it
I'm,
really-
I'm whacking 200 at golf. Like I should be the best golfer there is.
Like it really does depend. You can put on whatever shift, and if it doesn't work out, you're not changing shifts. You could go to the shift you put on, like your fourth pick shift,
Yeah.
and you could go to that shift. It doesn't matter. Like as long as you put it on your list, you can go to that shift.
So why would you want to change shifts? Is my question.
we don't get a say.
No, but why would you want to?
No one wants to change shifts.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you're happy with the crew you're working
Yeah.
with, right? Because you develop a relationship with
Yeah.
that squad or
Like
that,
you're there,
that crew.
Yeah, you're with them for a year.
Oh, so nobody wants to. Okay, I was understanding it as if you were getting something out of
No.
the change. Okay,
So
So-
they're just trying to make it
Yeah.
work.
So I
You put
got
your
some-
wish
yeah.
list.
I got something out of this change because I like my new shift better.
Yeah.
Like they're better. Not I wouldn't say better people, but like I work
Just the
better
fit
with
works.
them. Yeah.
The fit works. Yeah.
And like-minded people, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I get along with their personalities better, but
Yeah.
whatever.
that's-
it's not that you didn't get along with the people before. It's
no,
just
I,
that.
I did.
Yeah, right. I mean,
But it makes sense. I mean, people are people, and
Yeah.
like there's some people that you get along better with, or it's easier to communicate with, or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. I mean, it's no secret that you're going to put 40 or 50 people together, and that all of them are going to love each
Right.
other.
Right.
Not happening.
There's
Yeah.
going to be
Not
relationships that happen, and
Yeah.
you're going to get along better with other people, and that's perfectly fine, and that's normal. So you're on a shift that works for you. So
Yeah.
you come onto the shift. Nobody knows you that well, right? They know
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
As a woman coming into a shift, like I would assume that you're the only female on
I
this
am, yeah.
crew.
Yeah.
What's that like for you? Does it make you nervous?
It was definitely intimidating. I know I talked to my boyfriend for months. I was like, I don't want to go to this shift. Like I'm nervous.
Yeah.
The like bunch of hard asses, like tough people. I'm like, I'm so nervous to go to the shift. I don't want to go to the shift. And I got transferred to this shift, and my first day, it was me and one other guy that got transferred to the shift. But
Okay.
he's been here for over 25 years, so he has a seniority. He knows.
Wow.
Yeah. So he has a spot, and I'm here for a year. And we all sat down at the dinner table, and my captain was like, "What do you expect from us? Like, what are your ground rules?" I was like, "I don't care." I was like, "I
I would
understand."
never say don't ever say you don't care.
Yeah, right. So
I don't. I'm just saying.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, I grew up around this stuff. I know what you're gonna say. I know, like, whatever. I was like, just don't call me, the C word. I was like, just don't say it to my face, and I won't have a problem with it. I was like, you can talk about whatever you want. I was like, I don't, whatever, and I think they respected that. They're like, oh, okay, and like,
Right.
So that's the
know.
thing that you think you're encountering in the environment you're in. Yeah, but it sounds like I don't think that with you it's an issue based on just the general conversation we've had. I think you're just
Easy going.
easy going.
yeah,
One of the, I hate to sound so cliche, one of the guys, but just somebody that's
yeah.
going along.
She's a
to get along.
firefighter.
Right?
No,
a firefighter.
I had
That's a fair. That
Right?
what that is.
She's
That
a
is the
firefighter.
truest definition I think that can be said in this is you're a firefighter.
Yeah, and
And gender and ideologies are irrelevant in your mind.
Right.
Is the way that I'm
100%.
capturing.
Yeah.
And I've seen you from being here, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
So I will say that I think
that
that's an
vibe.
absolutely accurate and fair statement.
I think it's like partially because I grew up around it, but some guy on my new shift was like, he looked at me one day, he's like, you may be in a girl's body, but you have a dude's mind. And I was
Right.
like, all right. So like I'm fitting in, I understand. I'm not gonna call you out because you said something I don't like. I was like,
Well,
you know.
and it's not that it's unprofessional or certain situation, because Like I swear, like a truck driver. I work with females. I'm an aircraft mechanic.
You just called your boss a female.
I didn't.
His name is. Never mind.
But the point is, like I'll go up to the front office and I'm still the guy that's turning wrenches. I'm sweating and
Right.
I'm bashing my knuckles off of hydraulic lines and I'm bleeding and I have a mouth like a truck driver.
Yep.
And I go up and it's very easy for someone to take that and go to HR and say, "Oh, he said this or he
Yeah.
said that," So when you say what you said, like what are your ground rules when they ask you that? It's not like they want to harass you
Right.
or treat you differently. They just want to be guys.
Yeah.
And there's a female introduced into the equation. So they just want to know
I
the
think that
boundaries.
needs to be cleaned up. It's not that they just want to be guys. They want to be, as you said, firefighters.
Right.
And just get the job done without having to worry about looking over your shoulder.
Right.
And I don't think that, from your perspective, that that matters to you. I think that's a fair statement. Like you
Yeah,
said, I
it
do think that's the
doesn't.
best way to
you want to
classify
be
it.
you want to be a team.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
So the team works together. And I
Yeah.
mean, if you want to drop the F-bomb and call somebody a whatever you want to call them, I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you could have no filter and not care and be dropping words. And I mean, let's face it, there is males out there that would be offended
Yeah.
by some of the language that they hear,
Right.
whether it's from a female or another guy or whatever. I have words for those guys, but we're not going to say it on this podcast. But I mean, that's the reality. That's what you're dealing with nowadays. And what I'm getting from this conversation, and I have a lot of respect for a firehouse now.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the same standards.
Yep.
You're in a predominantly male-dominated career.
Mm-hmm.
They do have respect for you because
Yeah.
they're talking to you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you guys are all doing the same job. You guys are all givers. You're putting your lives on the line for the betterment of other people.
That's the reality of it.
I mean, and that's how every job should be.
Yep.
It shouldn't matter.
I think every job is that way until you have the troublemaker
Correct.
included into it,
Right.
right? In most instances, most people are joking around,
Right.
and even if they're not, you're gonna have to look. I've gone through this. Call it prove your worth, so to speak, and I'll give you an example. The first aircraft mechanic job I had, I was working with a guy named Eric, and we were out. I was hanging over this cowling. I didn't know the guy, but he was my mentor, so to speak, right? He was the guy that was taking me under his wing, and I was hanging out there, and we were measuring. It was pouring down rain. We had a high vibe sense up in the fan motor of the engine, and we were measuring to make sure that it wasn't out of round and our diameter was correct. And I looked. I'm up on top, and he's looking up at me, so he's getting rain in his face. And I'm like, dude, are you holding the pie tape correctly? And he's like, yes. And he's like, dude, what is that? I was like, do you know what the you're doing? And he said, I was joking, right? But I didn't know at the time because he told me later after a cookout. He's like, dude, I wanted to bounce a wrench off your face so bad. and it was, I was joking, but I thought it was a way to break the ice and just be, I don't know, funny, a janitor mechanic, or in your case, a firefighter, right? We're all just busting chops and having fun.
Yep.
That's the camaraderie of it.
It is.
And that's where I think, politically speaking, we've gotten so far to the wrong side of that fence
Right.
that it makes it hard, especially when someone like you, that you're already battling enough to prove your worth, right? And to be a part of a team. And it's not sexist, it's not misogynist, it's not any of the things that are characterized. It's just, look, everybody pays their dues. It's no different than what we were talking about, seniority. Everybody understands that, but it can't be characterized into a gender profile is my issue with it.
Yeah.
The
right?
standards are the standards.
The standards are the standards, right? Like, and I think you said it best. Again, I'll reiterate this. It was to be a firefighter. Like, that's just what it takes. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. But don't blame it on some sort of ideology. Is my point.
Right.
Right.
So, Caitlin, kind of want to wrap some of this up. I mean, we've been talking about what you've done, and any particular stories you want to share? Like, everybody wants to hear, like, what's the coolest call you, like, what's the most rewarding part of your job? Have you been on a call where it's like you just go home and you're like, oh my God, this is what I did today, and I'm so proud of myself and our department. Do you have
Oh,
any?
God, I don't know.
Nothing like that.
I mean, I guess, well, on my last shift, we had, we get called out. I was on the ambulance with my partner, and we get called out. I think it was like chest pain, typical around dinner time, chest pain,
Yeah.
We go to this guy, and he's complaining of 8 out of 10 chest pains, been going on for a couple hours. And we're like, all right, well, we'll take you out to the ambulance, and we have him walk out of his house, and he just like collapsed right on the sidewalk, goes
Wow.
into like cardiac arrest.
Really?
Right
Wow.
on the sidewalk. And my partner and I, we like, call for the whole station to come, and like we're working this guy, doing CPR, all this stuff. We get him to the ambulance, and we see like he's having a heart attack, and he's in cardiac arrest, and
Yeah.
we're working him. And I think the weirdest part for me was that when I was doing CPR on him, it was like so, like it worked so well that he was like fully conscious again.
Wow.
And then when you stop CPR, he's
wow.
in cardiac arrest again. Like
He's falling off. Really?
yeah, like he
So
was
you're
having,
literally
So you're fighting
you're
for
keeping
life.
him alive.
I'm pumping his heart for him, and we have this like machine called the Lucas machine. It
Okay.
does CPR for us. Like we put him on put it on his chest, and he's like fully conscious while you're doing CPR for him. But then when you stop it, he goes
Wow.
unconscious again. So my partner and I, we get him to the hospital, like the closest hospitals in our city. We get him there and get him stable enough to get transported up to the Trauma 1 center where he can go straight to the cath lab, get his heart fixed, whatever. And then, a couple weeks later, they're having a fundraiser for him, like raise money for his medical bills, and he's there.
Wow.
And I was like, holy, like that guy I just saw dead on the sidewalk.
saved his life.
And he's there. And I was like,
He wouldn't be here if it wasn't
it
for
was
you.
just, it was a crazy,
That's amazing.
Like you always get called to these people who are dead, and there's no saving them. Like they've been dead there for a
Right.
while, and you still have to do what you can to try and save
Sure.
them. But this guy, like you're just talking to this guy, and you see him go into cardiac arrest. And I think that was the coolest part of my whole career so far. So
That's amazing.
it was crazy, and I still see him out around town. Like he lives in the city, so I see him out in the grocery store or whatever. And I was like, oh my god.
Does he recognize you?
No, like I saw him at the event that they held for like the fundraiser event. And he's like, after you guys came in the house, like I don't remember anything after that. He's like, I don't really remember that night at all. You
Yeah.
know, like you're probably unconscious for a while after that, and it was crazy to see the guy walking around. And
But you know it.
yeah, it was crazy.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you sitting down with us and taking time. And I know you came down to have a family weekend, and I kind of put you on the spot to sit down behind this microphone and this camera. But I'm
Well,
super
in all,
proud
in
of
all
you.
fairness, you've been talking about this for a couple.
I
of
have.
years.
A while, yeah.
No, and
But he's very proud of you.
I know.
I mean,
yeah. And Taylor Morrill, she
Oh,
says that
God.
she's proud of you.
Oh my god, thank you, Taylor.
So awesome.
is she on your shift?
No, she's a friend from high school.
Oh,
So even we
I had a
have,
friend once.
but it was a very long time ago, and he doesn't really remember you. But no, I want to thank you, and I'm super proud of you. I can see you going very far in this career field and being super successful and helping a lot of people
Thank you.
because I know it's in your heart.
Yeah.
You're a giver.
Yeah.
So, what would you say to your team, all of them, all shifts,
Oh, God.
right now?
don't
I'm putting you on the spot
I know.
hard.
I don't know. Now I'm getting awkward again.
Oh no, it's I mean anything. Like, do you appreciate working with them?
Yeah.
Anything. These are the people that you work with every day.
Yeah.
You rely on them.
Yeah. Just
They
thank
rely
you.
on you.
They are your team.
Thank you
at
for
the end
getting
of
me
the
this
day.
far and making sure I go home after each shift, I guess.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we're gonna wrap up this episode of This Is America. Thank you, Caitlin.
Yeah.
My name is Rich, and I'm a +1.
And I'm Eric. I'm a +1.
And I'm Caitlin. I'm a +1.
Thanks for listening. So we're still live, by the way,
Oh,
but
shit.
the recording is done.
All right.
So everybody that was watching, we appreciate you guys, and we'll get this video edited, and I'll put it on YouTube, and you're going to go down in history along with your lacrosse picture in the
Yeah.
paper. Thanks for watching. What do you think of that, Caitlin?
Simple.